Hello friends, today we'll learn about calorific value determined of human being through machine learning program. So first make today's headline. Calorie value of human being. Let's say human. So I'm just copying it and putting it here and mark down and after that make it. Okay, so first I'm going to import all the necessary libraries. Import NumPy as np, import pandas as pd from sklearn dot model selection, import train test split from XGBoost, import XGB regression from sklearn, import metrics. This is basically for the last stage when we will do the calculation part. That means how is the accuracy, how is the error in our design model. For that things we are going to import the metrics library. So let's run it. It will take some time to import all those libraries. In the meantime, I am importing the data set. I'm taking dataset 1. So here what we'll do first we'll take two data set. One data set for calories and another data set is exercise. Okay, and after that we'll merge both the data set and I'll show you how to merge the data set in pandas. Then I will merge both the data set. After that we will proceed accordingly. Okay, so first I am taking data set 1. First I am doing PD, that means the pandas library. Since the data set in CSV file, that's why I am writing read CSV to read that CSV file. After that I am putting the path where I have kept that particular data set. So I am just pasting that path name. Okay, after that I am pasting the file name, that means the dataset name, then .csv, since it's a CSV format. So let's run it. Now let's check the dataset 1. This is basically the dataset 1. That means from dataset 1 you are getting the user ID. User ID is the identification number of every user and the corresponding the calorific value. Okay, that means how much calories is required by that user. Now I'm going to import the another data set. I'm giving name of that data set is dataset 2. Now again I am writing PD, that means the pandas library, then read CSV. Since the data set which I'm going to import that is in CSV format, that's why I'm writing read CSV. Now I'm giving, and let me add some rows here. Now I'm giving the data set path where I have kept that particular data set. Okay, now I'm giving that particular data set name. Now .csv, since it's in CSV format. So let's run it. Now let's check the dataset 2. From data set 2, you are getting user ID. User ID is nothing but the unique identification number of each and every user. Then his or her gender. After that, age, height, weight, duration, heart rate, body temperature, etc. Okay. So till now, we have two data set 1 and data set 2. Now I'm going to merge both the data set. And during this merge, there are two options are there. You can merge it row wise or you can merge it column wise. But here, it will be beneficial for us to merge both the data set through column wise. Okay. So I am writing the new data equal to, I'm using the PD, that means the pandas library, then concat, that means we are going to concatenation. It will be dot, not comma, PD dot concat. Then I will put both the dataset name, that means the dataset 1, and I will put it within third bracket. Dataset 1, then another dataset was dataset 2, and we'll concat, that means we will merge it through column wise. That's why I'm putting axis equal to 1. If you put axis equal to 0, in that case, both the dataset will be merged through row wise. But in this case, we need that both the dataset should be merged through column wise. That's why I'm putting axis equal to 1. So let's run it. Now let's check the new data. Let's run it. So you are getting user ID, calories, again user ID. This portion, first two columns was from dataset 1 and the remaining part was from dataset 2. And here you are observing that user ID, that columns comes twice. Okay. So, and one more thing, to determine any person calorie, that means how much calorie he or she needs in that, to determine that thing, the user ID is not required. User ID is basically the identification number, like the roll number in school or college. Okay. So to determine anyone's calorie, that means how much he or she needs calorie for his or her everyday life. In that case, the user ID is not required. So we can remove that column for our calculation purpose. So I'm going to drop the user ID column. So new data, then I'm going to drop what I'm going to drop, and it would be dot. What I'm going to drop, I'm going to drop this user ID, this user ID column, and let's put it axis equal to 1. Since I'm going to drop column, that's why I'm putting axis equal to 1. So let's run it. Okay, you are observing that particular user ID column has been removed. So again, I'm displaying the new data set. Okay, so we have to write the new data again, otherwise the data will not be loaded. So again, let's run it. Now let's check it, new data. Okay, now you are getting that user ID column has been removed. Okay, so now you are getting total 15,000 rows and 8 columns. In these 8 columns, if you see carefully, there are 1 columns is there, that is calories. Okay, it is basically the output what we are trying to get. So I'm taking this calories column as my output variable, and except calories, all the remaining 7 columns I am taking as input variable. Okay, so as input variable, I am taking input variable as x. So I'm writing x. Now the data set name, that means here in this case the new data, then drop. Now I'm going to drop that particular column, that means calories. Now axis equal to 1. That means I am taking all the columns except calories in my x, that means the input variable. So let's run it. Now let's print it x. You will get total 7 columns. That means that calories column has been removed. Now I'm taking that calories column separately in y variable. So let's change it to y. and let me some adjust here. Okay, so let's run it. Now let's print it y. You will get all the calories values as y variable. Okay, so you have segregated your data into two parts, that means the input variable and output variable. Now you are going to split your entire data set for training as well as testing. That means you will take some of your data from your data set for training purpose, and you will take some of your data from your data set for testing purpose. Okay, so to do that, I am doing xtrain, then xtest, then ytrain, then ytest, and it should be comma, not dot, then equal to, then train, test, split. Now I'll take x, y, then I'll put test size. Here I'm putting test size 0.2. That means I'm taking 20% data for test purpose, and remaining 80% data I'm taking as for training purpose. Then random state equal to 2. You have to give some random state. You can give random state 3 as well, but if you put different random state, in that case your answer will be vary from my answer what I will get. Random state basically it is basically to reproduce your data, how it's going to split. Okay, so you can put any other number as well, but if you put a different number, in that case your answer will also be different. Okay, so let's run it. So let's check how many values are there under xtrain, xtest, ytrain, and ytest. So to check that, I'm doing print. After that, putting all the name here. Now I'm just putting ship after the end of every segment. Shape. Now again here I'm again doing shape, and now here again I'm doing shape, and let's run it. Total there was 15,000 data, and it is splitted as 12,000 and 3,000. That means 12,000 data we are taking for training purpose, and remaining 3,000 data we are taking for testing purpose. Now we have segregated our entire data set for two parts. One part for training and another part is for testing purpose. Now we'll make an instance. Let's say instance name is model, and now we'll put XGB, what we import from XGBoost, XGB regression. And one more thing, XGBR, these three letters is in capital. After that, all letters are in small. If you do any mistake, in that case, you will get error. Okay. So in this step, I'm making one instance for XGB regression. So let's run it. Now I'm going to fit my model through training data. So I'm giving the training data here, xtrain and ytrain. So let's run it. It will take some time. Okay, some error comes. Let's check what is the error. Okay, thing is that if you observe carefully in X there is one column is there, that is gender column. In gender column you are getting male, female, something like that. So it is string. String means it is basically word. Machine will not understand this word. You have to convert this word to numerical number. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, something like that. Since we didn't do it, that's why we are getting error. Okay, so let's convert this number. So first let's check what are the values are available, like X. Then I'm doing that particular column name. I'm taking the column name X gender. Now I'm putting it here. That means I want to check what are the variables are available under X gender. So value and counts. So let's run it. So there are 7,553 values are there for female and 7,447 values are there for male. So you have to replace these values. Okay, so I'm doing x dot replace. Now it will be dot, not comma, x dot replace. Now I'm putting for male I'm taking 1, and for female I'm taking 0. Okay, and after that I'm putting in place equal to true, so that wherever it will get male and female, it will convert 1 and 0 subsequently. Okay, so let's run it. Now let's print x. Okay, you are getting that gender. Initially it was male, female, something like that. Now it has replaced to 1, 0. Okay, so again start from beginning. Okay, otherwise you can't train your data set. Let's print y again. Okay, so now I'm executing this step. That means the line 16. I'm executing it. Now again I'm executing this step. So now all are completed. Hopefully now we should not get any error, but still let's check. Now I'm creating one model instance. I'm just re-executing that line. So let's run it. Now I'm going to fit my X train and Y train to make the model. So let's run it. It will take some time. Okay, now it's good. Okay, so now if we just want to check that X train value, so let's check it. This is the X train value, and you are getting 12,000 value under X train. And let's check the X test. Let's run it. So this is the X test value, and you are getting 3,000 rows under X test. So you have fitted your model through training value, that means X train and Y train. Now you will check the absolute error. Okay, absolute error for both the cases. That means for your training data set as well as for your testing data set. So first I'm checking the absolute error based on the training data set. So I'm doing X train predict. X train predict. Now I'm using model dot predict. Now I'm doing X train. That means with the help of X train value, I am going to predict the X train predict value. Okay, so let's run it. Now I'm checking the absolute error. Absolute error based on training. So what do we do? I will write matrix what we have imported from sklearn, then mean absolute error. Now I am giving the predicted value, that means X and predict, and after that the actual value, that means the Y train. So let's run it. So let's print it. What is the absolute error you are getting based on your training value? So you are getting 0.96. It's a very less absolute error. So your model is good based on the training data set. Now let's do the same thing, but based on the testing data set. So here I have just changed the test instead of train, and here I have also changed test instead of train. So let's run it. Again, I am copying this line and testing it here. Now again, I am doing the change it here. That means I'm writing testing instead of training. Now copy and paste it here. And again, I'm changing it here as well. I'm putting test instead of train. So let's run it and let's check what's the absolute error based on testing. Let's paste and run. So absolute error based on testing, you are getting 1.48. So it's also very less error. So we can say that our designed model is good. So let's conclude. Absolute error based on training data set. Training data set is, I'm just copy and paste it here. Okay. So 0 point, I'm just pasting it here. And another line, I'm just copy the entire line and paste it here. Here I'm just writing the testing. So absolute, and it will be absolute error, and it is also the absolute error based on testing data set is. Now what I'm doing it markdown and run. So this is the conclusion of our design model, that absolute error based on training data set 0.9656. So it is very, very less, and it should be. If you designed a good model, your absolute error will be very, very less. Here in our project, what we are getting absolute error based on training data set is 0.96, and absolute error based on testing data set is 1.48. So we can say that our design model is good. This was all about for today's lecture. Today we have implemented XGB regression, as well as I have also shown you that how to concatenate two data set, how to merge two data set. So this was all about for today's video. Thank you.